Kimu SDC with you here today, and I'm gonna start it off with a PLH. Peace, love, and happiness with you all day, every day. I hope you're feeling great today because we got something great to talk about today. And I'm gonna start it off with this question: are you an alchemist? Now, I know for me, I first found out what an alchemist was when I was watching an anime series called Full Metal Alchemist. And once I began to tune into it after opening my third eye, I was like, wait, this alchemy thing has to be something real, something serious, because there's always hidden messages and there's a purpose behind most things that happen. And for some reason, that show really resonated with me, and I continue to watch it. So out of curiosity, I decided to dive into what alchemy was. But the alchemist represents a thinker. Are you a thinker? Because I know I'm a thinker. And I know in my free time, when I'm walking outside, whether it's cold or it's hot, or maybe I'm just sitting in the house and, a lot of things are going on and I just want to get myself away from all the other stuff that I do and just sit down, chill, and think. But the alchemist is a thinker. Now, to go way back, alchemy originates from the word or the name Kemet, which is the name for ancient Egypt. So really, alchemy started in the ancient Egyptian times. And then later, when the Arabs took over Egypt and threw al on in front of the word Kemet or Kemi or Kemia, then it became alchemy or alchemia, and that's where we have it today. But as alchemy went into evolving the way humans do, because of the way that the art was lost, people began to use it for false things, such as making false gold from lead. And kings would start requesting for alchemists to bring them gold. So the idea of changing lead into gold is a real thing. You can do it. But during that time, people were beginning to call themselves alchemists when they didn't even know the art. And then therefore they were giving false product, basically. Product that would just deteriorate right in front of you soon as you wanted to use it. So they didn't really understand the art. But the art of alchemy really is the science of changing, basically transmuting something. So taking it from its base elemental state and perfecting it, purifying it into something even greater. So there are many different types of alchemy. There is elemental alchemy, animal alchemy, spiritual alchemy. There's herbal alchemy, mineral alchemy. There's so many different types of alchemy out there. And I decided to recently to dive into the art of alchemy and get an understanding of what it is. And I've learned that alchemy is taking something from its base form and bringing it into a much pure state, in which the cycle of birth, death, and then rebirth takes place. And understanding that it also goes into our human aspect. That is how we transcend our spirit. We heal our spirit through alchemy, and we don't even realize it. And I've gained an understanding that when we decide to go and become alchemists, making our spirit more pure, making the things on earth more pure. Everything has a spirit. It has a spirit that goes along with it. We just have to tap into that. And through my studies, I've understood that when you begin to alchemize things, you also alchemize yourself. So, in the aspect of herbal alchemy, when you do that to get the most optimal results, the most optimal oil. You do it when in correspondence to the moon and the planets that are correlated with it. And in doing so, in performing alchemy in the physical world, it then has an effect on your spirit. So it goes back to the law of exchange. If you put positive energy from your spirit into the alchemy, into the practice, you then get the healing benefits from that and therefore transmute your spirit. Alchemy. Now, I've been on my journey for some time and have been practicing the purification of my spirit. And I could definitely say in that process, it goes back to the symbolic idea of what an alchemist is, the thinker. I realized earlier on my journey, and of course I continue to do this, but when I was in college, walking to class, I had my music on, but I really was tuning out the music. I was more so thinking for the most part. And couldn't tell you what I was thinking, of course, but I wouldn't be thinking about my test. I wouldn't be thinking about what I'm going to be eating. I was thinking about the universe, universal things. And so I would ask, what is my purpose? What am I doing here? I'll ask questions about duality, and that's when I began to realize that I was actually awakening. This thinking process, I was awakening from this physical world. I was coming out of the matrix. And when I began to actually think and question the universe, things became a lot more clear to me. I began to create more positive energy for myself. I began to question the existence of the universe, the physical world that we live in. Is there an in-between between polar opposites? And then I gained an understanding that there is no such thing as duality. The way that duality works is to have you lie in the realm of black and white. And when we escape the realm of black and white and gain an understanding that it's the same thing, then those two ends of the spectrum don't even matter. We then begin to dissociate ourselves between this and that, right and wrong, black and white. We then begin to see actual colors instead of the black and white. And once I began to actually see colors in this world and not old cartoons or old TV shows from when TV first started coming out, life became such more vibrant. I began to receive and give more vibrant energies of different shades: reds, blues, yellows, greens, orange, indigo, purple. I began to give all these different types of hues, and that just came from me thinking, questioning the universe, getting myself into nature. So I became an alchemist, and I didn't even realize it. I began to transmute my spirit into something much higher, so that way I can give you this positive energy every time I make a video, just for you, to get you thinking about your life. Woo! And so we can all, and so you can join the party, and I can join your party, and we can join other people's party. So start thinking, start questioning this world that we live in, this universe that we live in. There's so many answers. I always tell people, because I know people they want people to give them knowledge. They want people to give them the knowledge of the universe. And I had to really understand the things that I know, I already know. I just don't know what I know. If we are one with the universe, we already know what it is. But we just have to find out what we don't know. So then when you realize that you don't know anything, you then begin to question the things that you don't know. So that's why I begin to question. Why am I here? What is my purpose? Ideas of duality. The origin of things. Origin of words. By the way, words are such a beautiful thing, and we really do take them for granted. I know that in my time of writing poetry and even speaking, I began to study word placement. It feels so great. But that just goes with the idea of being an alchemist and thinking. I began to transmute my vocabulary into something that is much more pure and has much more meaning, gives much more vibrant energy. I began to use what we would say is our opposites right next to each other, one to describe another. And in doing so, you then begin to see that everything there's always in between. There's no extreme. So I want to encourage you on an everyday basis, try to transmute your spirit. Try to transmute yourself. It's a very hard process. I know because I've been doing it. Starts with loving yourself. When you begin to love yourself, you then begin to heighten your frequency. That is part of the transmutation process. If you transmute into love, the highest frequency, you then begin to get rid of the dirt and the grime that clouds your spirit. I know that, and when I began to read, I came across an analogy for my spirit, or for the spirit of anyone. Think of your spirit as a glass. And when you begin to roll that glass in dirt and mud, it becomes very cloudy. So then with the light that's in that glass or the light on the other side of that glass trying to shine through, it can't shine through. But when you begin to heighten your frequency, you then begin to wipe you begin to wipe the dirt off the glass. And that analogy really stuck with me, because that's really what it is. So begin to transmute yourself. Begin to transmute your spirit. Get yourself on higher frequencies. Be thankful every day. I know that when I began to be thankful, people will be thankful for me, for something that I've done. But I always returned that thank you with a thank you. Because this experience would not have happened if your world did not come into mine. So I have to thank you for even entertaining my presence. And then when we're thankful and we're giving off that great energy, that great vibration of love, seeing in between the black and the white and seeing all different types of colors, can always be like, woo! And we can have a party. PLH Peace, love, and happiness with you all day, every day. Kimu SDC over and out. Peace. And don't forget, always be an alchemist. Think, question, transmute all day, every day.